Hi there! Today's yoga class is for those of you suffering from lower back aches and pains. Whether your back is super tight and restricting movement or it's physically giving you pain, hopefully you'll find some relief in today's 25-minute class. Everything in the body is connected, so an imbalance in one area can cause pain in another area of the body. So not only will we be focusing on finding relief and release in the muscles in our lower back, but we'll also be stretching and promoting mobility in our hips and hamstrings. If you're ready, let's get started. We're going to start out today in child's pose. So let's bring our big toes together, take our knees nice and wide, and walk our hands out, gently resting our frontal lobes on the mat. And let's use this time to turn our attention inward towards our breath. Allow your mind to find stillness. And with every expansive inhale, feel the breath going towards your lower back, breathing life into the areas that you feel pain. And imagine that pain leaving the body on every exhale, allowing your lower back to relax. And just breathe. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly start wiggling our fingers and waking up the body. We're going to walk our hands in about halfway, and we're going to do some gentle kneeling cat-cows. So on your inhale, we're going to drop our ribcage as we bring our gaze forward. And on our exhale, let's round through the spine and tuck our chin in towards our chest. Continue this movement at your own pace with your own breath. As you round through the spine on your exhale, really pay attention to where you feel the stretch in the back. Allow yourself to embrace this gentle spinal massage, allowing your breath to guide your body. Let's do a couple more now. Deep inhale as we drop that rib cage, and exhale as we round through the spine, tucking that chin. Deep inhale, chest forward, open heart, and exhale, round through the spine. And let's return our spine to neutral and inhale that right arm up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, thread it under the left arm, dropping that right shoulder to the mat. Deep inhale as we rise up, and exhale, lower it down, getting that nice thoracic spinal stretch. Inhale up, exhale down. This time, let's do one more and pause at the bottom, dropping that shoulder to the mat, maybe outstretching that left arm overhead and breathing into the stretch. When you're ready, we're going to release this hand, pressing back up. And this time, let's inhale our left arm up towards the sky and exhale, dropping that left shoulder, threading it under the body. Deep inhale, rise up, and exhale, bring it down. Let's do two more. Inhale, exhale. Last one. And then at the bottom, let's drop that shoulder and extend that right arm overhead. Once again, breathing into this posture, and with every inhale, allowing yourself to feel expansion in the lower back. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly rise up, and we're going to practice a hip mobility exercise. So we're going to come into a seated position with our knees up and the soles of our feet on our mat. And we're going to just drop our knees, forming a 90-degree angle with both of our legs. We're going to try to keep our feet flexed, and we're just going to rotate our knees back and forth, making sure we're forming that 90 degrees. And we can sink our hips maybe a little bit deeper on each side. Allow your hands to guide your knees up and then switch over to the other side, gently rocking into that front knee. And we're doing this exercise because sometimes our hip mobility is so limited that it causes tightness and pain in our lower back. So this is just a gentle, easy exercise to work on that hip mobility. And when you switch sides, really feel as though you're aiming your pelvis towards that front knee as you sink a little bit deeper on your exhale. At this time, let's drop our knees over to the left, this time keeping our left knee where it is and extending our right leg out long. We're going to come into our pigeon pose, so point those left toes, and you can try to keep that left shin parallel to the front of your mat, but it's okay if you can't. You can bring that foot a little bit closer to your hip if you need to. And we're going to start doing a cobra movement in this posture. So let's slowly lower down, and on your inhale, use your core and your back to rise up, bringing your chest and heart forward. On your exhale, lower down, using very little of your arms to rise up on your inhales. And then exhale, lower down. You'll feel the stretch in your left hip and a little activation in the lower back. Just gentle movements, nice and soft. And when you're ready, let's slowly lower down to our forearms, lifting our left knee and bringing it out to the side. Forming that 90-degree angle in the leg, we're going to drop our pelvis. And we're going to start doing some pelvic tilts. So let's bring our pelvis forward, dropping that hip bone to the mat. And then lengthen that tailbone, finding space under the body. And continue just rocking your pelvis back and forth, feeling the activation in the lower back as you do so. Remembering to breathe through this posture. And just allow it to give your spine a gentle rock, specifically aiming towards that lower back. You'll feel slight activation in the core. Forearms pushing the mat away. And when you're ready, we're going to come onto our right side. We're going to grab that left knee with the right hand, allowing our hand to press that knee into the mat. And then we're going to windmill our left arm out and over to the left side. Sweep it above the body again and outstretch it to the right as if you're reaching towards something just out of grasp. Hopefully you have a little more room than I do so you can keep that left arm long and outstretched as you do this movement. Sweep it over to the right, extend it long, feeling the stretch through the thoracic spine, and then over to the left, trying to keep that right shoulder on the mat and that left knee on the mat if you can. Sweep it over. This is really working the thoracic mobility. And then we'll switch at this time extending that left knee out long and bringing that right knee up for that pigeon pose. Pointing those right toes if you can and really sinking into this stretch. See if you can square off that pelvis towards the front of your mat. And we're going to start doing that cobra movement once again. So bend those elbows as you bring your chest and forehead towards the mat. And use your lower back and your core to inhale that chest and heart forward. Exhale as you slowly lower down. And deep inhale as you come up once again. We're really finding activation in the core and lower back here as you rise up. And then exhale, slowly lower down, feeling the stretch through the right hip this time. And just slow and gentle movements with your breath. We're going to do one final one. So deep inhale up and then exhale back down. Let's come onto our forearms once again, this time taking that right knee out to the side, finding that 90-degree angle, and we're going to start doing those pelvic rocks once again. So let's rock that pelvis down and forward, touching our hip bones to the mat, and then bring it back, lengthening through the tailbone as you find space between yourself and the mat. And let's continue this movement. As we rock our pelvis forward, we'll experience anterior pelvic tilt, almost like we're popping that booty. And then posterior pelvic tilt is where we're lengthening that tailbone down, kind of hugging our ribs, knitting them in, and feeling that tailbone pull down. Just feeling the activation through the lower back and through that core. Breathing through the movement. And when you're ready, we're going to roll onto our left side to do those windmills once again. So keep that right knee there. Use your left hand to keep that right knee on the mat. Outstretch that right arm out long and windmill it over the body, stretching it over to the left side. As you swing it over to the right, try to reach as if you're grasping for something just out of reach, and then windmill it back over. Again, try to keep that right arm straight if you can as you bring it over. I was just restricted in my movement here. But really feel that stretching through the thoracic spine. Maintaining that spinal mobility is what will keep ourselves healthy and strong. And let's reach it over to the right one final time. Nice big stretch. And then we'll flip over, slowly coming into a seated posture once again. We're going to keep our right knee up and the sole of the right foot on the mat, and we're going to extend our left leg out long. And we're going to open up our body over to the left side, and we're just going to slide that right hand along the left leg towards the foot and back. Then we're going to outstretch that right foot, bring the left knee high, and continue this movement, sliding the left arm along the right leg. And we're just going to switch back and forth. We're getting a nice spinal stretch here, activating the hips and stretching through the hamstrings. This is a gentle movement, and we're not going too low where we're irritating our lower back. This isn't too much of a forward fold, so only do what's comfortable for you and do not try to force this movement. We're just trying to get gentle mobility in that lower back. A nice gentle massage of those spinal muscles. So continue this movement, this time switching over to the left, right knee up long. Exhale as you release down. This time let's flex that left foot, pointing those toes, flexing it up. Really massaging those nerves in the leg. Nice activation of the foot here. And release. Let's switch it over. Extend that right leg. Lower down. And let's flex those toes of the right foot, pointing and flexing. Once again, stretching those nerves in the leg. Awesome. And you can release now at this time. We're going to come into a low yogic squat. So see if you can bring yourself up, palms in prayer, and use those elbows to bring your knees a little bit wider. Feel free to put a block or a blanket under your butt if you'd like at this time, but we're not staying here too long. One more deep breath. And then on your exhale, release into a gentle forward fold. Nice soft bend in those knees. Maybe rock your hips back and forth. Allow your head to hang heavy, maybe clasping those elbows. We're not focusing on getting a deep forward fold here, just a gentle massage of the spine. Maybe going up and down, bending those knees, swaying those hips, just whatever feels good for you in the moment. Still focusing on your breath. And we can release our hands to the mat. We're going to step our left leg out long, drop our knee, put our hands to frame our foot, lengthen the spine, and then exhale as you straighten out that right knee, flexing those toes for a nice hamstring stretch. And then inhale as you send your weight forward, sinking into that hip. Exhale, release that front knee, flex those toes, and then inhale forward once again, spine long. We're not trying to sink too deep into these postures, remember. We're simply trying to find release in our hamstrings and lower back. Inhale as you come forward once again. And then exhale, release toward that knee, peeling those toes off the mat. When you're ready, we're going to release that back knee and bring it forward into this wide leg forward fold. And we're going to just gently start swaying our hips back and forth, almost like a gentle rock. You can feel the movement in the lower back, in the pelvis, and in those hips. If you want, you can grab some blocks at this time to kind of help you support yourself to keep that spine nice and long, and continue that movement in the hips. You will feel this in your lower back. It's just a gentle massage. And now bring that left hand over to the right leg and inhale that right arm up and back. Release, bringing that right arm to the left leg and releasing that left arm to the ceiling. And let's just continue this movement at the pace of your own breath, bringing that right arm to your left ankle and left arm up long to the sky. Continuing this movement, feel free to use those blocks by your ankle if you need a little extra support to keep the spine long. Allow those knees to be soft and not locked into place. And allow this gentle spinal twist to breathe life into that lower back and into your spine. You can release at this time, coming over to the left side, bringing that right knee down beside you once again, and we're going to continue that movement over on the left side. So inhale, spine long, and then exhale, release, bending into that left knee, flexing those left toes. Inhale as you bring your weight forward, spine long. Exhale, send those hips back, straightening out that left knee and flexing those toes. And then inhale forward. Once again, we're trying not to sink too deep into these stretches, just enough to find a little bit of release and a little bit of stretch. If this is too uncomfortable for you, you can sit in one pose or the other and try to breathe life into the area that's causing you pain. And let's come forward once again. This time releasing both of our knees, and we're going to come into a seated position. Allow yourself to slowly lower down, vertebrae by vertebrae if you can. And we're just going to do some nice pelvic rocks here. So using our hands on our knees, guide your feet towards the mat and then pull those knees back in. As you push the knees away, you'll come into anterior pelvic tilt, which will cause a space in your lower back. And then as you pull your knees forward, your lower back should become flush with the mat. So just continue this movement, noticing how your body is moving as you move your knees. Where do you feel the mat touching your spine? If you want, you can do some gentle spinal rolls here, rolling your knees in one direction, feeling that lower back touch and release off the mat, and then switch directions, guiding your knees in the other direction now. Gentle spinal massage here. Allowing your breath to soften. And when you're ready, you can extend that right leg out long, still bringing that left knee towards the chest, and then slowly release those toes towards the mat. Once again, guiding that knee back and forth, feeling that movement in the pelvis and in the lower back. Gentle movements here. If you need to place a blanket under your back, please do so. And maybe rocking that knee in circles at this time. Just using your hands to guide yourself. Gentle movements. Maybe switching directions, circling your knee around. Just noticing what parts of the body are feeling this movement. And we can switch our legs again, extending that left leg out long now. Let's rock that right knee up and back towards the chest and away, pointing those toes towards the mat. Take note of where you feel this movement in the body. And if you're feeling areas that are still tight, see if you can focus your attention on sending your breath to those areas. And on your exhale, allow any tension to release. Let's bring that knee around in circles, gently massaging that lower back. And let's bring both those knees now and gently rock the spine back and forth. Again, not hugging the knees too tight. And just slowly reconnecting with your breath. And you can release your knees at this time. And keeping your knees bent, we're just going to bring them over to the left side. Bring them back up and then over to the right. We're just going to start windmilling these knees back and forth. Gentle, fluid movements here. Not feeling too much of a crank in that lower back. We're just gently allowing gravity to guide our knees over to each side. Drop them over to the right. Inhale up and exhale over to the left. And let's bring them up and over to the right again. Just slowly moving back and forth. And when you're ready, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and allow our knees to hang out to the sides. You can grab your blocks if you'd like again at this time and place them under the knees if allowing them to free fall is just a little too much pressure for you. Have your feet as close to or far away from the groin as you need to feel comfortable. And allow yourself to just release into the mat, feeling the support of the earth underneath you. Allow your eyes to soften. Allow your legs to soften. You can release your blocks if you'd like to get a little bit of a deeper stretch. Maybe placing your hands on your inner thighs and allowing the weight of your arms to just gently bring your knees a little more open. Allow your abdomen to swell with every inhale. And then on your exhale, just feel your body release. Feeling fully supported by the earth, as if you're right where you're meant to be at this time. Now let's release into corpse pose for Savasana. Stretching those legs out long, maybe wiggling those ankles, wiggling those wrists, allowing everything to relax. Bring your attention to your breath once again. Breathing life into your lower back and your whole body. Allow yourself to just feel completely supported by your breath and the earth. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos. Namaste.